quite a difficult one. Is a deputy governorship candidate, Action Alliance in Rivers State. So they've been complaining of what's been going on. So in Zamfara State, the situation is similar, as opposition political parties cannot campaign publicly. Even the media was affected when the state government shut down television and radio stations for covering political party campaigns. Though the government have apologized to the affected media houses after the NBC demanded apology from the government. What danger does this pose to a democracy like ours, the Nigerian democracy, and even as Nigerians make preparations for elections in 2023? So this is what we're looking at, and with me in the studio here, I have a lecturer at the Bingham University and head of department, Mass Communications Department, Dr. Desmond Okocha. Thank you, Doctor, for coming on the show. Thank you, we appreciate. And also with Dr. Desmond is the founder of the Ben TV London, Alista Shoyode. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
This is the second time you're coming on the show.
Thank you.
The first one when you contested. Yes Party.
That's correct.
As a presidential candidate in 2019.
Yep.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes, Doctor, you see, when we see situations like this in Nigeria, moving into the 2023 election, it reminds me of some persons putting down some notes to say, this is what I will study as a case study in this. Though it's not new in our politics, but what's going on in this country today, you think it will not affect the election come 2023?
I think when you look at the happenings in this country, it shows clearly that the political class do not believe in democracy. They don't walk their talk. When they speak to the masses, they give us a caricature facade of democracy in order to keep the masses under control. But amongst themselves, they know they do not want democracy. They want to entrench themselves in power. And if they do not decide their successors, then they're ready to disrupt the system. And as you rightly mentioned, it has been part of the polity of this country. But then because of the advent of social media and the Nigerian youth having access to see the happenings across the length and breadth of this country, it's becoming more glaring for us to know that truly, like you saw what played out in Zamfara State, we see what is playing out in Rivers State. And then we also see what's playing out, what happened in Lagos. Then we saw what happened also yesterday or so in Kaduna State, you know, where an array of political actors came to a state and a sitting governor made some insightful statements. So this tells us that the Nigerian masses must not close their eyes. Don't believe the statement, don't believe the rhetorics, don't believe the echoes coming from the political class. Stand up and defend your democratically constitutional rights. Because 2023 will determine if this country that is already dismembered will survive in the theater of existence.
But are you not surprised, Doctor, that they signed a peace accord just about a few days ago?
Those are ceremonial.
The ceremonial, but these are people who want to rule us, people who are coming up to say, I want to serve you. And if they go to pen their signature to a paper, that shows responsibility.
Yeah, but come back to it again. Are they really interested in Nigerians deciding who rules them or who leads them? I don't think our political class, they only give us that outlook, but they want to enforce and force themselves on the citizens. So the peace accord, because you will understand, go back from
2015?
No, even 2011.
Okay, yes.
Yes. For instance, Atiku, he still went to court.
Oh, yeah.
You look at 2015. You look at 2019. So peace accord is beautiful, but then are there even consequence for breaching the peace accord? Is there the agency factor to hold a political actor like the gubernatorial candidate or the presidential candidate responsible for the actions of his foot soldiers? That doesn't exist. So despite the peace accord that we love so much, it has not actually ensured peace prior, during, or even after the election.
But when they don't understand that some of these steps that they take are illegal, because Section 95 of the 92 92, 93, 94, 95 of the Electoral Act talked about the campaigns and how even the media will have to behave during campaigns, and the political class will need to behave during campaigns. When they see these things, and these are illegal, they go ahead and begin to do the otherwise. So what's the take on there?
You are a media professional, you've observed. I have it on record that no member of the ruling party has ever been sanctioned for promulgating, for instance, fake news, hate speech. Because the ruling party, ruling class, defines what fake news, what hate speech is, whatever does not go in line with them. And then you look at the appointments of those that are the watchdog of the legal system, the constitution. How are they appointed? And all that. So the point is this for me. Our ruling class must be willing to transform this country and leave a legacy of true democracy. And until that happens, we can have the laws, we can have the books. It takes humans to enact. It takes humans to implement. But when the humans are not ready, they might be running a race that has no destination.
Okay. Now, Mr. Lister, I'm going to ask you a question based on what has been going on. I'm sure that some of these opposition political parties are not so happy because this isn't what it's supposed to be. The civic space is supposed to be free for everybody to go about. It's a country where we practice freedom to do whatever you want to do, freedom to speak. You understand? But now, the kind of reports that we are getting from some of these states, that even the INEC chairman had to raise the alarm today, and he's saying, we need to hold a meeting. This isn't what we signed for. People cannot have access to public facilities, which is, the fact that you are a governor does not give you the right to say, shut down public facilities so that others can't have access to it. Now, the media has been dragged into this because they shut down some TV stations. A governor of a state does not have the powers to do that. And I thank God the NBC came out to say nobody gave you that right. But let's look at the after effect of what's going on. How will it affect us as citizens of this country? How will it affect our job as media organizations and media personalities and the political party as well as the election ahead?
Well, thank you very much. The key point always in any national development is the role of the media, sharing the information accurately as much as possible, being in the middle between the opposition and those who are in government. Media basically is the issue of mediating between two factors or between two parties. And looking at the bigger picture as well, as you rightly say, there is no any institution that should have the single authority to do what they are doing. The question that we need to ask ourselves as Nigerians is, do we actually follow the law of the land? Do we follow the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? And the answer is no. Now, when you see a governor coming at a single point, closing down media institution or putting a law that he feels people have to respect, takes you back to an issue of insecurity or who appoint the police commissioner, for example, where now the governor will say, well, I have no authority to do that. Why in other aspects of the state, they have the authority to do what they have to do. Technically, they are not following what the law or what the people actually required. Sometimes this government official feel like the property that belongs to the people belongs to them. It is a personal property. It's no more democracy as it should be. We are in charge of this system and we control it. It becomes our own personal identity. But it shouldn't be like that, as we have seen in the Western world, or even where the real law of the land takes control of the situation. So we have to ask ourselves, does our law in Nigeria actually, do our leaders follow the law of the land? That is the number one question that we need to ask. And in true sense, if they do, 90% of the thing that they do actually is not according to the agreement between the leaders and those that they were leading, be it the electorate, be it the society, be it the voters, be it the people that vote them into office. So it's a simple thing that we have to ask ourselves, do they follow the law of the land? And the answer, technically and physically, has been seen, they don't follow the law. So I think until when the law of this country is being honored respected judiciously by our leaders, then this country can never move to the next level. As you rightly mentioned as well, they signed the peace accord, which the doctor mentioned as well is a ceremonial thing. But do I need to sign a peace accord when there is law and order in a country? When there is law and order, peace accord is of no significance because the law of the land would take control of anybody breaking it. Anybody committing a crime, anybody going to snatch the boxes, they know what the law would do. The police are there to implement. The army are there to make sure that those things don't go beyond what the police can.
But these agencies that you just mentioned, they are controlled by governments.
Well, they may be controlled by government because that's the constitutional lineage of their duty. But then they sworn an oath to the nation, not to the governor, not to the government.
Who among them can stand up to say, yes, I swore an oath, and then I need to ask a governor a question? Have you ever seen a policeman?
I think there's a retired army officer.
Okay, who has done that
recently?
Yeah.
Yes, that have said that his allegiance was to the Nigerian nation and the Nigerian people, and that is why what he was doing at that time was because he has sworn an oath to the nation. And now that he's no more bound by that, as now a citizen of the country, he felt that he can now say something and act in a way of the citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So there are people. I swore an oath to do something and I keep to it. Most likely you swore an oath that you'll be here 7 p.m. to take your voice and go through this program, and you are here. So as I said again, the leaders that are mentored by bad leaders would only produce bad followers. And that is the consequences of what we're going through. So
is it not possible for Nigerian people to ask a question, to say, you will not respect, okay, let me ask Doctor this question. You do not respect our laws. We have a law, and you are coming up to ask for my vote. And for the fact that you don't have respect for the law that that governs us, you shouldn't have my vote. Can we have the courage to do that?
I think we must give credit to the Nigerian media. Someone wrote a piece recently, which is The Last Estate Standing. And with all the little flaws here and there, the Nigerian media is the last hope standing. The Nigerian masses have their voice through the media. We saw what happened when MBC shut down a couple of stations. It was the same media in synergy with Nigerian population that rose and that was overturned. We saw also what happened in Zamfara, Nigerian media. So the Nigerians are tired. We saw what happened during the HENSAS. And that's why we'll see what they call the third force. Most time, when I talk about P2B, I say P2B is an expression of Nigerian grievance and exhaustion with promises. So Nigerians are doing their best, but the media also, plus other agencies, should do more of education for them to understand what their rights are. I must be ready to die. Because the highest weapon of ruling class is threat and death. And when you don't want to die, you cannot confront the ruling class. You're not carrying harm. We are saying this is our right. We stand on the right. And that was demonstrated during the HENSAS. So as much as Nigerians are willing to come out and say, I'm going to stick to my rights, again, we must equally support. There are instances where the media will report something and we are looking at the motive, which political party and all that. You know, and that is one thing that the ruling class opposition are very good at, creating division amongst us. So we must bridge that gap and then speak with one voice, ask questions. I hear, for instance, in the political campaigns here and there, even it's an issue-based, they give us, I'm going to do this. How are you going to do that? Let's ask questions. I don't believe in the rallies, in the campaign. Let's have town hall meetings. Let's have conversations. Let's ask
what happened over the weekend.
Thank you.
That was a good one. Yeah, by the Arewa community.
Yes. Let's ask you questions. ASU went on strike for 8 months plus. If you become the president, how do you intend to fund education? Where will you get the money? Don't say ASU will never go on strike. Anybody can say that. How do you fund the education? Don't say I'm going to revive the power sector. Where will you get the money? How will you go about it? So the Nigerian populace, they are rising up. We expect more. And I believe between now and the election, a lot of surprises
will come up.
Will come up.
So, Doctor, what do you think about the social media these days? Because we have fake news, we have passion, we have anger, and we have attacks.
Yeah, beautifully. We can't throw away the baby and the dirty water.
Yes.
Those we have, I do believe that there is no society that is excellent or perfect. But I want to focus on the positive drive. And I want to say the media, both the digital and online, has really helped in keeping the country. If not for the media, a good example we had of those that were released in Lagos, some Boko Haram members.
Okay.
It was through the online platform that we got to know of that. Most time the police, the army, they give us reports. It is through the online platform. So we have pockets of fake news and all that. But then, brilliantly also, the media has risen to a point where they have fake news checkers.
Yeah.
So as we progress in the drive to nationwide, we're going to find ways to remedy, but the government must take the lead. The reason why our government cannot actually checkmate the excesses in the digital platform is because the government is at the forefront of fake news. Lai Mohammed has been called out many times. He has never apologized. The spokesperson for Tinubu, he has been called out many times. He has never apologized. Some other persons have been called out. So until the government begins to put a spotlight on their own candidates and their staff and deal with them, they will wake up. Because each time the government takes someone to court, arrests or punishes, we want to ask ourselves, did he speak in favor of the government or against the government? So the media space, with all the shortcomings, I still believe is one of the weapons that has kept this country alive.
Okay. Now, Mr. Ristag, moving on to 2023 elections, what would be your advice to the media? Because we are, according to what Doctor said, the media is right in front of the